Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. We can see that both of these cryptos are moving very similarly in similar ways, basically around 4% up today. In the last week, both around 10% down. Cardano even a little bit less down, which is expected because Cardano's indicators are just much lower, on a much lower level than, for example, Bitcoin. And I did explain that before. So we start with Bitcoin, and I explained why I just expect this move down at the moment. So in both scenarios that I have on the chart, both expect a bearish outcome where we will land below 30k, and it is hard to keep up with this at the moment because prices are going up. But I did pre-warn you that we're having that we're going to have this relief rally, and I just want to explain once more why I'm so it is bearish. You know why? You know, why could this not be a bullish move anymore? This just can't be a bullish move anymore. It just is. It's barely possible. You know, it's barely possible. So obviously that move up here in April, that was our real high. That was our impulsive high, after which we corrected down. And what I've got here on the chart is this impulsive move to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A clear impulse. This is on this whole chart. In my view, I mean, this is spanning from April to now. On this whole chart, this is, in my view, the best impulse, you know, that you can see. So a clear impulse to the downside. This was a clear corrective move, okay? And this was only the first leg of that impulse, the first leg of that corrective move. So this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside, clear corrective move. Then this was corrected by an A, B, and a C to the upside. Also, in this move C here to the upside, this was also a very impulsive move. Yeah, and you can see that actually this is another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern here. So again, expected in a move C. Yeah. So what we had here, this move down in a larger wave A, and you come up in a larger wave B, which, however, again is divided into an ABC, right? Because a wave B, this light blue wave B, is split into 3 waves, A, B, and C. There are different ways of counting this. Yeah, there are. But in my view, this is the most plausible one. There are people, I watched a few other videos today about Elliott Wave method. And to be honest, I found for the first time another person who actually had the same pattern on the chart, the very same pattern as well. Yeah, which is great, because this means that other people see this as well. But yeah, he only basically mentioned it as a side note. Found it still quite good, but yeah, he mentioned it as a side note, and really I think doesn't really believe that this is going to play out. He was more bullish. But then you have another bullish version of this chart where you would basically count this, many people have seen it, count this basically as something like a wave 1 here, a wave 2 to the downside, a wave 3, but this can't be a wave 4 because you come down too far. But another possibility is you can have these 1, 2 patterns. So you can have a wave 1, a wave 2, and a wave 1 and a wave 2, but we've just come down too far, in my view, for a wave 2. So you can have these 1, 2, 1, 2 patterns. This is possible, but if we then take a look at the Fibonacci retracements, yeah, basically when we take a look here at where we start this wave up, and we assumed, let's just assume this was a bullish move up. So I take the beginning of that wave, go all the way to the upside, I zoom in. What can we see there? We can see that we've come down absolutely far. I mean, nearly to the beginning of that beginning here, which would still be possible in a wave 1, 2. But what I don't like, which is bad, and it's never good, to be honest, is first of all, we've come down too far. We've come down below the 0.887 fib level. Yeah, so that's the first thing. It doesn't make it impossible that this could still be a bullish move. But the other thing that we can't really, and let me just take that fib out here again. So on one hand, we came down really far for a 1, 2. But again, this would theoretically still be possible. But then we can't ignore everything that happened here. And what we had here was this clear impulsive move to the downside. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. So we can't really ignore that. And you know, this needs to build on something here to the upside. And it's just not very probable from my point of view that this builds on an impulsive move to the downside, and you don't have that good structure here to really build on it. So that's why I've got this chart, and that's why I strongly believe at the moment, and I stick with it since we've dropped below 53k, and this was the level that I told you, you know, above 53, when we were hovering between 53 and 59.5k here in this range here, I told you that it was really 50-50, you know. Had we gone up from here, yes, possibly new all-time highs. Had, you know, I told you if we drop below 53k, expect a strong move to the downside. That played out perfectly. It was even stronger than I expected, but it worked out, and that is why this bearish scenario is now on the chart, and this is what I go with. Honestly, this is what I go with, and that's why this is on the chart. So this obviously will have an impact on the whole crypto market. If we zoom in now, what does it look like? Let me go to the 4-hour chart, and then we are going to talk about what I expect now. So for me, the most initial scenario that I showed you now after this breakout to the downside here of 53k was that we are here most probably, in my view, in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. So from up there, yeah, we have basically come down in a I guess this was the wave 1 here, come up in a wave 2, then we came down here in a wave 3, come up again in a wave 4, and come down in a wave 5. Yeah, there are a few things now to consider. So this here is, in my view, also a wave A again. Yeah, a wave A, because wave A is impulsive. So you have that. So you have an A, B, C. So let me just show you that as well. So we've got this A, B, C, where you can come down into then, okay? That's just as a side note. So we've got this impulsive move to the downside, which is clearly impulsive here. Now, there is what I did tell you that I expect now here a retracement into this yellow target box. So, and this is playing out at the moment. So we take here the retracement levels, and we can see that this yellow target box lies directly between two Fibonacci retracement levels. Actually, that yellow box needs to be extended a little bit, because I want to have it between these two Fib levels. So we've got these Fib levels here at 55.5k. That's where I think we go at least into. And on the upper side, we've got this 63.5k. Ideal level here in between the 0.618 Fib level at 58.8. Yeah, this is where I would expect it ideally to go to. But it can also go higher, and it could even go to 65, maybe even 70k. In an extreme case. This is when everybody will get too bullish, and then I expect a drop at the latest. What the question is though, is this wave 5 already finished, or could we go even lower? You know, could this wave 5 continue to the downside before we even go up? Do we actually get this retracement or not? So do we actually get this wave B? Do we get this A, B, C? Or is this wave A, does that need to be lower together with that wave C? So I don't know that yet. This is too hard to say. At the moment, though, it's looking like that this wave B is playing out already, so that we've already seen the low here. What speaks against this is that we've actually seen this long wick to the downside. Yeah, this was just a quick, very short wick to the downside, a very long wick, and it hasn't really been filled here, you know. And you can even see that on the daily. You can see that on the 4 hours. So, you know, ideally, I would want to see us go down once more, but it doesn't really matter. We are already retracing here. And to be honest, we are already retracing a little bit too much for just a normal, the assumption that we come down once more. So I would expect now, as we've retraced above that 0.214 Fib level here at 47.9, that we continue up here. But really, I think until we really climb above, I mean, the next level is 52.5. That's a really important level here. If we come above that, it's getting increasingly unlikely that we come down once more before we actually get into this target box. So I know more and more, the higher we go, the more I expect that we actually come into the target box. And from here, however, then we will come down lower. Now, I did actually prefer that we come down straight away. I did prefer that because this would have meant that we are going to finish this correction much faster. If we really have to go all the way up to 55, 58, 63, maybe even 65 or 70k before we come down, that will take a long time. You know, that can take months. So that indicates that this correction will take quite long. If we have to climb up all the way now, and bear in mind, there will be sub waves here. You know, this is not just one move to the upside. This will be, you know, you will have your, if this is a wave B, you will have a 3-wave structure. So you will have, again, within this, you will have an A, B, and a C. And within that, you will have sub waves. So the wave A again consists of 5 waves. The wave C consists of 5 waves, which is where it gets very complicated. So expect some ups and downs here as well. And it will take a while. You know, there's a lot to do, you know, in terms of distance. So that is why I expect that primarily now, as we have really seen already quite a bit of a move to the upside here. This is not bullish yet, however. It's not. It's actually quite bearish what we are seeing here. So what next? So and that is pretty much where we are now. And let's take a look at Cardano. So let me just go to the Cardano chart. With Cardano, it is following Bitcoin at the moment in a very similar way. You know, we've seen here very similar structure, came down quite far. Currently just really following Bitcoin, holding quite steadily above 140 at the moment. And you can see how well the 125 level did hold here. So after we obviously broke that, those key support levels that I gave you before, the 181 and then the 146, we now hold the 125, but you can see how we're climbing down the staircase here. And the thing is, if we have a descending trend line here, so you can see how well we are currently adhering to this trend line, can't really break above that trend line. In this current correction, if we get above that, I think we could see quite a bit of a boost here to the upside. That will be fairly important. We need to get above that to really follow Bitcoin to these higher levels. I've just shown you that yellow target box that I would expect now primarily Bitcoin to get into. But even if Bitcoin doesn't do it, the outcome, the end outcome will be important for most people out there, which means that we will come down below 30k. That is my assumption here. Again, I can't say it often enough. I'm happy to be proven wrong here. Not many people talk about this scenario, but I now firmly believe in it. And that is also why I very careful with buying at the moment. All my buy orders at the moment on the Discord channel, they are quite low. And they assume that we are going into much lower price ranges. Also, what else? So yeah, we need to get above this trend line to follow Bitcoin up. Currently Bitcoin is correcting a little bit, but this is the up and down, you know, in this wave. So again, with Cardano, what I expect as well is basically now as we do follow Bitcoin, and you could see it here on CoinMarketCap that we in the last 24 hours have seen very similar price gains here, and also I just need to refresh that, very similar price gains, and also in the last 7 days we have seen very similar price gains here. So you've got you're nearly your 4%, identical nearly to Bitcoin, and you're 10% here, 11% also in the last 7 days. So we're really following Bitcoin now finally, even though people in the comments still say we don't, but I think we do at the moment. And you can see it here on actually we actually lost a bit less than Bitcoin on Cardano. So just held down by this descending trend line at the moment, need to break that. And then I would expect that Bitcoin also, Cardano also does something like that we are going to retrace here to the upside after this move down, going to retrace to the upside and then come down with Bitcoin once more and hopefully hold the 125. If we can't hold the 125, that we at least hold the $1. That is what we did the last time when Bitcoin came to 30k, but I expect Bitcoin to go below 30k. So this will be really critical to see what we're actually doing. But at the moment, I still stick with this scenario here, just because I think that, you know, looking at the longer term indicators for Bitcoin, we're just much higher here than Cardano. And Cardano is on the longer term indicators just much lower because it did start much earlier with this correction, and Bitcoin didn't do that, you know. So Bitcoin only really we only see it now, really, that correction. So just really to show you an example of this indicator, and specifically for Bitcoin, where I think that Bitcoin is really going to rush down here. So let me just show you let's just take a look here at the MACD. First of all, for Cardano, the MACD, we're actually coming up here on the 4 hour, but I really want to show you the longer term time frame, which is very important. So as you can see here, for Cardano, we are coming down here on the weekly quite a lot, but we are already with the MACD line nearly at the 0 line. Yeah, so this is looking quite bad. But if we take a look at Bitcoin, this is just looking so much worse, which is also why I'm quite bearish at the moment. So there you go. You can see the MACD on the weekly, and just a little bit of an understanding of how to read that MACD. We have just had a bearish cross here. Yeah, you just had a bearish cross on the MACD, and you are quite high. Yeah, you're nearly at the here 4,000 level. On the MACD, you have a bearish cross. We're turning into the red here, and we're only just starting to come down here on the weekly MACD. And to take a look at that, the last high that we had here on the Bitcoin chart, making higher highs on Bitcoin, making lower highs on the MACD. That is a very, very strong bearish divergence that you have here on the chart. That's a very, very bad sign. Especially on the weekly. Yeah, so I don't know, I haven't seen many people talk about this, but you have on the weekly a massive bearish divergence on the MACD. That means something, and that is again why I think we are going to crash down. Bitcoin will be smashed in my view, and nobody wants to hear it, but it is going to take place in my view, and it will be very interesting, the next few weeks to see if that is playing out or not. If not, then yeah, my scenario was wrong. And I'll be happy to admit that. But I think, if you look at the DTAs of many people, also on YouTube, sometimes you get these phases where you just don't know, and where you just can't, have to say, right, as we were between 52.5k and 59k for Bitcoin, we didn't know. We were in the limbo. We didn't know, do we go up or down? But in my view, this is clear now, and many people leave it open. But I always try to give you one, if I can, I try to give you one clear scenario here. And this is for me clear. So yeah, let's see. I'll, on the Discord, definitely we try to, I've started, as I said, to give you buy orders now. These are buy orders that I put as limit orders onto my exchanges. So this is no financial advice. You can buy as per them or not. And then we're going to take profits in the next move up. And I have set them all fairly low. I mean, we're going to buy in on the way down, yeah, but the first buy order is already quite low, okay, just to give you an understanding for that. So if we don't come down, and if this is totally wrong, we're not going to buy anymore, not in this wave at least, and then I have to just recalculate and look at where we are. But yeah, I think it will be very hard for Bitcoin really to turn this into a bullish scenario. I do expect in both scenarios that I have talked about that we're going to go down, and Cardano will suffer from that as well, no doubt, and many other cryptos, all other cryptos will suffer, but Cardano has already come down a lot, where Bitcoin is only just starting here to come down. So what Cardano missed out on was this whole basically fake out here to the upside that we saw, because Cardano did pump much earlier than Bitcoin, yeah, throughout August much more. And now it has just been correcting. It's a completely different wave structure that Cardano is doing, and a lot of other cryptos are in the same wave structure as Cardano, for example. One of them being Quant, for example, which is also why Quant is suffering at the moment and going down. And there are a few others as well. So it's quite unique, and they have decoupled themselves from Bitcoin in the sense that they're actually being outperformed by Bitcoin, or have been outperformed by Bitcoin over a period here, and people lost interest. But I believe this is going to turn around. So this is going to be very interesting, and hopefully, yeah, we are going to get to a good outcome in the end, because after that sub 30k level for Bitcoin, in my view, we are going to turn around here and have a nice move up for a lot of cryptos. So hope you liked that update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.